Plus, attend sound check, take home an autographed guitar, and more from AEG. Text the nationwide keyword, Waters, to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Waters to 200-200.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Christine Lisi. There's only one known NBA team planning pursuit of a sign and trade for Nets guard Kyrie Irving. That would be the Lakers, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Brooklyn's not believed to have any interest in any available packages from LA. Irving is facing a Wednesday deadline to decide on his $36 million player option with the Nets. Kyrie wants a max deal. It is understandable why Brooklyn might be hesitant to give him one, in the opinion of ESPN's Seth Greenberg.
To give him the max as basically inconsistent in terms of the availability he's been, I don't think you can do that, because if you give him all that money in 5 years, who knows? Now he's got you. He's got you, and what's going to happen in year 2, you never know, because the one thing we know about Kyrie is you never know.
The Texans, formerly named as defendants in the ongoing civil case involving their former quarterback Deshaun Watson, now with the Browns. The suit claims the Texans knew of Watson's alleged sexual misconduct during massages. Watson has maintained his innocence. His disciplinary hearing with the NFL slated to begin tomorrow. Novak Djokovic among today's winners at Wimbledon. Live coverage continues, ESPN TV.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now.
Log on to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. TheSportsocracy.com is the website. Just go to the website, click on the front page, little video screen right there in front. Hit the subscribe button so you can join us in the chat, and you can answer important questions of the day, like the 12 bones question of the day. We'll get to that in just a second, but we are brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings, always coming to you live from the Ingles Studio, and of course brought to you as well by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. And Jeremy, it was a great, thrilling sports weekend. I mean, how much sports did you sports if you could sports?
None. I didn't do anything sportsy.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of sportsy.
Except troll people on Twitter,
well,
which I'm just going to do that.
I mean, that's the new pastime, right?
Absolutely.
I saw Top Gun this weekend, Top Gun Maverick. And it is everything everyone has told you it is. It is great. It is better than the original. It's the greatest sequel ever made.
I knew I was forgetting to do something.
What was that?
I was supposed to see that.
Oh, you had a date scheduled with some friends
we were going to do
or?
Jeremy Saw a movie, and that involves me leaving my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing I miss about pandemic times. Movies get released on my television.
Right.
Because I have a giant television in my house, and I really like watching them from the comfort of my sofa.
Yeah. Top Gun Maverick, it is the movie of the summer, maybe the movie of the decade.
Oh, stop.
It is, I'm telling you, man.
Movie of the
Look,
decade.
I went into it with, it can't be as good as everybody's saying. It can't be as good as the original. I went in with a skeptic's mind. And
wait, there was an original? I didn't know that.
Stop that.
Oh, I've never seen it.
No, stop. You did. I thought you saw it.
Nope, I didn't.
You just said you saw it.
No, I thought I had seen it, and then I don't remember. This was the one time Josh Michaels ever been on our show. And then he said something about Val Kilmer, and I went, Val Kilmer's not in that movie. Oh,
yeah, he is.
Wrong one. Oops.
I love the way they put him in this one as well. Spoiler alert, Val Kilmer is in this movie. And if you know anything about Val Kilmer, obviously the later years of his life have not gone well because of, I think it was throat cancer that he had. He can't speak. They wove that into the storyline of the movie and everything. It was fantastically done. And it was way better than the original. I know there are some people that'll be upset with me for saying that, but come on. You got better technology to work with these days.
Yeah, CGI.
Exactly.
You know why I don't watch movies that were made in the 80s? CGI.
And Miles Teller. Everything that I see Miles Teller in just makes me like him more and more and more as an
You know
actor.
what makes me not like him? The fact people are growing mustaches now because of him. I don't like that. There's one person that can grow a mustache. His name is Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
If you're asking yourself, should I grow a mustache? Answer yourself one question.
Right.
Am I Tom Selleck? If the answer is no, well, there's your answer.
So, yeah, Top Gun, there's a reason that it has now grossed over $1 billion at the box office, and you should go see it. Tried to book. We thought, hey, it's been out for several weeks, so we can just go up to the movie theater, buy tickets,
How much
like
did
we used to back in the day.
I have to know. You, Andy, and 2 children.
Yes.
How much did you spend?
How much did I spend?
Yeah.
Well,
don't act like you don't know to the dime, you cheapskate.
I think it was about $45, something like that. We had gift cards. So,
of course you did.
Yeah, we had gift cards.
That makes it all make sense. I could not figure out, how did you convince him to pay full price?
Oh, yeah, no, never. I don't like paying full price for anything. We had some gift cards laying around. It's like, you know what, this is a great time to go use the gift cards. We thought, but here you go. And dumb me thought, it's been out for, 3 weeks now? It shouldn't be hard to get a ticket to go see this movie. We go up to the movie theater, and they're like, the only thing we got is in the front row. It's like, well, that's out. Have you ever seen a movie in the front row of these? So they decided the great idea would be to have more theaters inside the theater, so they cut them all in half and put up new screens.
This is all news to me.
Really?
I have no idea.
So, yeah, they wanted to pack as many screens as possible in, so they cut down the size of the theaters. Well, now they've put the front row. Remember how the front row of a theater used to be a good, 10, 15 feet away?
Out.
Not anymore.
I'm a sit all the way in the back, or I'm out.
Well, these, they're right up to the screen, and you have to lay back, literally, to look straight up the screen.
And if you don't have fat guy chairs, all the way out.
I think they all have fat guy chairs now.
If you don't have fat guy chairs.
Those reclining, beautiful Barca-lounger
if you have airplane
awesome.
seats, and I will totally show my arse about that.
They're like, no, we only have front row tickets. It's like, well, I'm not doing that again. We did that for Spider-Man. And Willem Dafoe, as creepy as he looks normally, he looks really creepy when you're staring straight up the screen at him.
Yeah, I'm out.
So then we had to wait around to 6:10, which took us out of the matinee. So had to pay more for that. I was like, I've got gift cards, don't care.
Who'd you yell at for that?
Nobody.
Jada's screaming. Somebody got yelled at.
I don't yell at people.
Was it a poor guy? Was it the poor guy that ripped your tickets?
I don't do that. They don't do that anymore. Everything's automated. Everything's you buy your tickets on your phone, and then you got the little QR code that you scan. And I tried to do it the old man way, and they wouldn't let me.
That should tell you everything you need to know. I think the last time I went to a movie theater, somebody actually ripped my ticket.
Right. Well, they don't have anybody at or at least at the Biltmore Grand, they don't have anybody at the box office anymore. You got to go to concessions to buy tickets because most people just buy them on their phone and use the little QR code to get in. So they forced me into doing things the usual or the normal way now. But I was able to use my gift cards, and I think it cost us $15 for tickets. It was awesome. It was awesome. And then you factor in the popcorn and all of that. And it was a great day. Top Gun Maverick, though, greatest movie of all time.
Ooh.
It's even better than the Batman, which I didn't suspect.
Well, it couldn't have hardly been worse. And I will, before we get off the movie topic, popcorn, grossly overrated.
No.
I do not understand why people like that so much. I would rather you give me whole kernel corn in a bucket, and I'll eat it that way.
Why?
The popcorn's just, it gets in your teeth, and it's ugh.
Can't do it. I can't see a movie in a movie theater without popcorn. I just can't do it.
If I see one in a theater, it's big, the grossest beverage they will bring me. And if you'll refill it, all the better. I don't care if it's $74.
One of the greatest reactions that I saw yesterday was like a younger, like teenage girl and her mom go up to the counter and they're like, "I think I want a medium soda," and the dude popped up the vat of that is the medium on there, and she goes, "No, that's way too much. That's way too much."
That is a tremendous impression. Yeah, I want the biggest one. I preferably want you to refill it, and then I need the little the crunch, the Nestle's crunch.
Oh, the little bites?
Yes, that is my movie snack.
Raisinets.
Raisinets also acceptable. Or if you're a Seinfeld guy, Junior Mints. Junior Mints is also acceptable.
I did cheat a little bit on the diet yesterday. I had some Raisinets at the movie theater.
It's acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost 77 pounds. I think I can afford it.
I think you earned it.
That's what my wife said too. I said, "Do you think they're gonna, I'm gonna get in trouble?" And she's like, "Who are you gonna get in trouble with?" I was like, "I don't know.
No, I think you're fine."
Yeah, doing well. We'll tell you all about the PhD weight loss program coming up later on, as well as everything else we're going to get into sports-wise today on the program, since, that's what we do here. We're
most of the time.
Yeah, we do ball things here in the Sportsocracy. The Sportsocracy.com. Again, don't forget to like it, share it, subscribe it, all that kind of thing on the YouTubes. And you can get into the chat with us. Answer today's 12 Bones Smokehouse and Brewery question of the day, which is, what is the worst contract in professional sports? What is the most immovable contract? Because we've got a lot of good candidates right now.
Well, one of the consistent answer has been Deshaun Watson. And I vehemently, aggressively disagree with you.
Because there's going to come a point where that contract, in my opinion, he's going to be able to live up to that contract.
No, I don't know about that, but I can't put it into the albatross. We'll tell you why later in this here program.
So you can answer the 12 Bones question of the day. The winner of that will, of course, get thrown into the drawing for our 12 Bones Smokehouse and Brewery prize pack at the end of the week, which we do here every week on the Sportsocracy. We also going to continue our team previews in the NFL. Training camps just a short time away. We got 15 shows left before training camps start, and so we're doing a team from the AFC, a team from the NFC each and every day. Today we're doing the losers of the conference championship games, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. We'll also get into the latest on the Deshaun Watson stuff. Big meeting coming up tomorrow with the NFL and the panel that's going to decide his fate coming up tomorrow. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Kyrie Irving has officially gotten to a point where I can no longer hear his name without immediately laughing, which I am a huge fan of.
Yep.
What I'm not a huge fan of, the offseason of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Really?
And I can't tell you if it's because I've had 3 solid days to think about this, or if it's just, I don't know, I'm a bit of a realist. I'm not nearly as in love with this team as everybody else is.
I'm not either. The only reason that I still feel like they're at the top of the league is because they have the best quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, and they have Andy Reid.
Well, and here's what look, the Andy Reid thing is all well and good. Andy Reid was a notorious loser until about 3 years ago. Maybe I'm still holding that against him.
You are.
Maybe I'm also holding how much better is Pat Mahomes than, I don't know, the 8 other quarterbacks we talk about all the time? Because I don't think it's that drastic.
No,
the difference now between Patrick Mahomes and, say, Josh Allen. I think I would personally rather have Josh Allen, but that's just me.
Really? Okay.
What does Kansas City do well? Do you have elite
Mahomes well.
Do you have elite targets?
No.
I could argue you're in the bottom 10 of the NFL in targets. And if I take out Travis Kelce and just look at your receivers, you are, and it's not debatable. Do you run well?
No.
Do you defense well?
No. I mean, all right.
All right. all right.
You're all right.
In what universe is this defense even all right? What do they do well? They stop the run well? No, statistically it looks like they do because you constantly have to throw against them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now there's no more Tyrann Mathieu. Now you're counting on George Karlaftis and Frank Clark.
And Chris Jones.
Yeah, Chris Jones is the steady force. They weren't good. They weren't good with him and Tyrann Mathieu. I'm supposed to believe they're going to be good without the Honey Badger.
Right.
I have stared this roster backwards and forwards. I cannot figure out why it is that people are just drunk in love on them.
Because the 4 straight trips to the AFC Championship game, and it's just going to continue. You don't need Tyreek Hill.
Now, it's funny you said that because I'm going to draw a parallel, and I cannot take credit for this. This was Twittered at me.
Okay.
What are the chances that we look at Pat Mahomes like Dan Marino about 10 years from now?
I would say very little.
I don't agree with you.
Really?
Here's why I say that.
Okay.
If you remember, Duper and Clayton, best he ever had. First 2-3 years in the league. It was never that good again.
Yeah.
I could argue
I don't know that
it's
it was
never going to be that good again.
Yeah, maybe.
The chances of you hitting a Tyreek Hill, very low. Because you're going to be picking in the back half of the first round. Really think about every great receiver that's in this league right now. You know what they almost all have in common?
What's that?
They went in the top 20. If I had 2 more picks and go to 22, they're all in the top 22 outside of Devontae Adams. I don't know that you're ever going to see that offense look like that again. And I'm going to say something that I would have said was just complete heresy about, 18 months ago. I'm not sure Pat Mahomes is as great as everybody makes him out to be.
Really?
You have an elite receiver with the ball in his hands. You have the greatest tight end I have ever personally seen in terms of just sheer talent. I'm not saying he's the greatest that's ever lived. He's had some of the greatest years I've ever seen. And now you have one of those two things. Is it really that spicy for me to say, you're not going to be as good as you have been, and this team is not even close to as good as it has been?
I would agree with that.
This is where I kept getting when we were doing the build up to this. I've watched that defense backwards and forwards. I can't get to a percentage that's less than 40% of the plus plays had something at the very root of it to do with Tyrann Mathieu.
Okay.
You replaced him with Justin Reed. Yeah, that's a bit of a step back. And Stephen Tao is taking a victory lap in the comments because he's been saying this for quite a while. And I will say, you saw it before I did. I've said this line on this show no less than 50 times. In the AFC right now, you have to nitpick every one of these teams. And we treat this like Pat Mahomes is just a no-doubt, best to without a doubt quarterback in the league.
Yes.
He makes a lot of bad decisions.
He does.
That gets bailed out by Andy Reid and formerly Tyreek Hill and now Travis Kelce.
He does. Remember how the season started out this past year? And they were what, like 3-5? Or so it didn't start out well. And we were all talking about how the Kansas City Chiefs, this isn't a dynasty. That what's wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs?
But it is a dynasty. But what you just said exactly where I was trying to get to. This was a dynasty. It was. That's as much as you're ever going to see. The years of New England making it 9 times in 18 years, that's not happening again. Ever.
Okay.
The league's not built that way. The league is built to take these quote-unquote super teams and cut them into pieces. You build up stars, you make stars out of lower-level draft picks, and then they get parted out and they catch their money somewhere else. That's exactly what's happened in Kansas City. Now I can't figure out what it is that you do well. Oh, you Pat Mahomes well. Those were your exact words.
Yep.
Well, that's funny because Baltimore Lamar Jackson's well. Buffalo Josh Allen's well. The Chargers Justin Herbert well. I could keep doing this. And they all have and we do this too. Kansas City doesn't have that. Kansas City cannot run to save their lives. They're looking at Jerick McKinnon going, man, he's still got some pop in him. Because you took Clyde Edwards-Helaire victory lap. Thank you. I don't think it's that spicy to say this team's not nearly as good as everybody makes them out to be.
No, it's not. It's not spicy to say that. We all know that they'll take.
It sounds like it is.
Well, yeah, because we're conditioned after the last 4 years to believe that Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes are infallible. That's just how we're geared to think now. And everybody wants to say that they're right back in or that they're still in the mix. And I'm not saying that they're not. It's just they're not as good as they were. Look at that offensive line.
The line's fine. The line's
so?
fine and young. I'm not saying it's great, but that would be my argument if that's the thing that if there was and they do this, I love that line.
They block well.
You got two of the best young offensive linemen in the league.
Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith.
A phenomenal vet. Mm-hmm. A good left tackle in Orlando Brown. I'm not saying anything nicer than that. And then we don't really know what Lucas Niang is because we've barely seen him play.
Mm-hmm.
You're fine there. You're fine there. The problem is that having that guy that can go bail you out. And after the break, I'm going to say something that somebody said to me. And it sounds normal when you hear it at first until you really dig into it, and then it becomes absolutely asinine, and I'm watching people trip over themselves to do it.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are watching some slow-moving downpours out there, and we're lucky enough to have them here this week. Front, which is not that common for summertime, in the neighborhood for the next several days. That's going to keep some thunderstorms fueled up. Our low tonight, 59 degrees, mostly cloudy with a stray storm Tuesday, a high of 78, and then widely scattered storms for Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Try Taco Bell's new cheesy double beef burritos now. A melty 3-cheese blend with nacho cheese sauce and double the seasoned beef in classic and spicy. At participating stores for a limited time while supplies last. Prices vary, tax extra. Double the seasoned beef as compared to beefy melt burrito.
It's a can't-miss summer on Today. This week, we'll help you plan your summer getaway. Plus, the star of Minions, Steve Carell. And Keith Urban kicks off your weekend. Watch The Today Show every morning on NBC.
It's good to have choices. We're your alternative, Alt 101.1, with music like this and this. We're Asheville's alternative rock, Alt 101.1.
Suffering from hair loss, bald spots, or receding hairlines? There's a new solution using regenerative medicine that can stimulate hair follicles and give you thicker, fuller hair with no surgery. It's available from the regenerative specialists at QC Kinetics. That's right, the same protocols that help relieve joint pain can be used to give new life to dormant hair follicles. QC Kinetics uses powerful growth factors from your own body, concentrated and applied to your scalp, restoring hair follicles, prevent further loss, and increase hair growth. Regenerative medicine is such a breakthrough. Imagine thicker, fuller hair with no expensive surgery and no downtime. Listen, if you're losing your hair due to aging, pattern baldness, or a medical condition, call now to learn more about exciting natural biologic treatments that can stimulate those dormant hair follicles. You can get your hair back. Get it growing naturally again. Call for a free consultation. Stop thinning hair now. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
DQ presents the sound of a summer double play. It's the sound of drumstick pieces and peanuts combined with world-famous soft serve to make 2 all-star treats. The Drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard and new Caramel Drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard. Grab one today or get it delivered at DQ.com. Official treat of MLB. DQ. Happy tastes good.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Welcome back into the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. And how good are the Kansas City Chiefs? We're talking about, we're doing the run-up to training camps, an AFC and NFC team each and every day. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we'll talk about the San Francisco 49ers. But right now, we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, who lost Tyreek Hill. And everybody
replaced
just
him
assumes,
with Sky Moore.
Yeah, everybody just assumes that this team is going to be just as good. Well, you got Juju Smith-Schuster.
Whoa.
Look, he was a guy that a lot of people had hopes that he was going to turn into a number one wide receiver when Antonio Brown left the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it never happened.
That's like your car breaking down and you going, I'll just walk.
Right.
It's fine.
They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling from the Green Bay Packers.
That and $1 will get you a Coke.
It's hard to like the weapons, but then you think about Patrick Mahomes. Can Patrick Mahomes be as effective as he has been with lesser weapons?
How many great quarterbacks have we seen with mediocre weapons?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they almost all have in common?
What's that?
They don't tend to win a lot.
Yeah,
Dan Marino is the one that was said to me, and I went, I can't unsee that now that I've seen it.
But you could make the case for, Aaron Rodgers. Without Devontae Adams, he was fine. But
you had the greatest receiver in the league.
Sure.
And you haven't won anything. But he's been to a lot of NFC championship games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could make an argument that that's what you're getting ready to see out of Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying they're going to be the Jets.
We've already seen it. They've been to 4 and won 1 Super Bowl. So,
and that's kind of my point. We have this, but he's got Andy Reid, who I could argue is one of the biggest underachieving coaches in NFL history.
I feel like you're still on that. You're still on that hatred bandwagon with him for some reason, but
because he's won 1 Super Bowl and had 14 teams that could have.
Yeah.
Okay. We've all got that one friend that met that one girl that one time, and he's clung to that story for 20 years.
There can only be one winner every year of the Super Bowl, and the fact that Andy Reid has been to, 8, 9 conference championship games?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
doesn't tend to get past that, but now it's the all-knowing Andy Reid. Yeah. Is it, though? I'm going to ask you a question, and I want to see how close you come.
Okay.
BetUs.com obviously has Super Bowl futures right now.
Yes.
How many teams have lower odds than the Kansas City Chiefs?
3.
You're too high. It's 2.
Tampa Bay and Buffalo.
That's correct.
Okay.
Which is stupid. If you're not getting on that Baltimore Ravens plus 2,000 bandwagon, I tried to tell you.
Right. Okay.
That's insane. Look, they have better odds than the Rams, who have nothing in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
They have better odds than the Packers, who, by the way, are the exact same team. You have a coach that can't win big games, great quarterback, mediocre weapons, and, oh, by the way, they have a good defense and they can run.
You love PFF. Pro Football Focus.
In spite of the fact it's owned by the commentator that makes my ears bleed.
You love all of their rankings and their analytics and all of this. They have, to me, what is a very questionable secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have placed them in the category, or they put them in, they separated all of the secondaries into tiers. And their tiers are, where do offenses even attack? That's tier 1. There's tier 2, minor question marks. Then there's ascending units, serious flaws, and then finally too much uncertainty, which is the nice way of saying these secondaries are dog water.
I would put Kansas City in the tier of you could use this to strain spaghetti.
PFF has put them in the minor question marks
and
category.
That's stupid.
They are 14th overall in the league, and they feel like there's only just a hair of a problem. You got L'Jarius Sneed, who's been very good since he got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs.
In large part running as a 2 with Tyrann Mathieu.
Add in Trent McDuffie, the first-round pick from this year.
Whose biggest drawback was he was raw.
I guess they're expecting big things from him. Rashad Fenton is the other one. Woohoo! Yeah. Juan Thornhill, who has already come out and said, I'm going to have an all-pro year.
I'm going to bet you don't.
And then Justin Reed, who I guess they see as equal participant in this secondary as to what Tyrann Mathieu was, which I don't even kind of get. I can't even wrap my head around that. But
he's the Diet Coke of NFL football players.
Okay.
I do not understand what anybody sees in them, why you would ever want. If you're going to drink it, okay, 30-second aside. Right. If you're going to drink a Diet Coke, drink a Coke Zero. All right? They're better for you in the first place, and they taste exponentially better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I'm drinking one right now.
Coke Zeros, that's where it's at. I just thought that was wild that that PFF and the all-seeing eye of PFF thinks that this is a top half of the league secondary.
It's insane.
And I don't agree.
It's insane.
I think
when I did my Super Bowl pantheon over the weekend, there were 9.
Mm-hmm.
There were 9. Now, did I take a couple flyers? I did. But I would rather take what I don't know than what I feel like I already do know.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty well know what Andy Reid is. I think I know what Patrick Mahomes is. And there's just no path to me. There have been, in the last 3 years, I've lost count of how many games the Kansas City Chiefs won that they had no business winning. It was solely because of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I don't think the offense is all that great. I think it's good. I think it's fine. But now all of those, we can't double team Travis Kelce. We can now.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Marquez Valdez-Scantling beating us one-on-one. All right, let's say he beats somebody deep. There's no less than a 50% chance he's going to lose the ball in the sun.
Bingo.
Or it might hit him in the hands, and had it been a snake, it would have bit him.
Mm-hmm. MVS is a great deep threat. However, he can't catch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what his catch rate is on catchable balls, but if it's any more than 50%, I'm going to be surprised.
It's not great.
Because I have seen him drop ball after ball after ball from Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, and on the other side, you have Mecole Hardman, who I could literally say verbatim the same thing I just said about MVS.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Juju Smith-Schuster,
who I will admit is the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's talent there. I've seen it.
Of course.
But do I feel good? He's the one.
Yeah.
He is the number one receiver in this offense.
Mm-hmm.
If I said that about any other team, would you not have a pause for concern?
Yes.
Even if it was Aaron Rodgers, even if it was Tom Brady, then why do we just chalk this up with Pat Mahomes like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Because he's done it. Because he's done it for
not with this.
He's done it for 4 years straight. He's gotten them to the AFC Championship game, and everybody acts like nothing has changed. There are a lot of comments in the YouTube stream of this is a team that could finish third in this division, and you won't be surprised.
Me in the least.
Right. They could finish behind any of the teams.
They could finish last in this division. I would not be shocked. Yeah. I would not be shocked.
It would be hard for me to believe that they could finish last in the division, but I mean, yeah. I mean,
they have allegedly the toughest schedule in the division,
mm-hmm.
and I don't think they're drastically better than any of them.
Los Angeles Chargers, up and coming with the moves that they've made in the offseason. The Las Vegas Raiders, you can say the same thing about them with the new Derek Carr, Devontae Adams tandem. And then you've got the Denver Broncos, who we still feel like they'll be able to play solid defense, and they got Russell Wilson now. Is there a path for them to finish last in this division? Yes. Is it highly unlikely? I also believe the answer is yes.
I don't think it's as unlikely as you do.
I still feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be one of the top 4 teams in the AFC.
Under. Under. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to convince me how they're better than the Chargers, the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I think I'm not going to say I'm either equivalent or, in my opinion, better at quarterback, better weapons, and I'm better defensively with all four of those teams. Your margin for error is 10% of what mine is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll buy it.
You believe Lamar Jackson's better than Patrick Mahomes? Is that what you just said?
I think he is an equivalent weapon to Pat Mahomes. He's nowhere near the thrower of the football. He is much more difficult to scheme. And I have long said, when every team in the NFL is doing one thing, so you have to build a defense a certain way, and then I give you the thing that, well, now you're Whittle. And Whittle does not play well against the Baltimore Ravens.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We're sports guys, and one of the big things about sports is records. Records are held in high esteem.
Not to me.
Of course they are. Don't say no, they're not.
Name a record that I really care about.
You don't care about any record.
No, that's a baseball thing.
Okay.
Yeah. How many yards Barry Sanders rushed for? Oh, you have no idea? Yeah, that should kind of proves my point.
All right. Well, anyway, to most of us, records matter. And this is a record. This is probably an unbeatable record. It will never be matched and may never even scratch the surface of this happening again.
Number of beers that Ole Miss fans consumed at the College World Series. That will never be touched again.
Probably not. But this one is much more heartfelt. This one is much more important, I think, to the sanity of the world, because we all love good stories. And Make-A-Wish Foundation, we're all familiar with what the Make-A-Wish is, and there is one man attached to the sports world that has, I guess, completed more Make-A-Wish, made more Make-A-Wish dreams come true than anyone else, any other celebrity with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I don't know that you'll ever get close to this record. John Cena of WWE fame has now reportedly recorded more than 650 wishes granted with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That is unbelievable. The story that's told is that 20 years ago, when he was just, I guess, what do you call it, a rookie? He was a rookie in WWE, and there was a Make-A-Wish kid in the offices, and they were supposed to bring in some superstar to meet with the Make-A-Wish kid. John Cena heard about it, and he went, yeah, I'm all in. I want to do it. And so he went in as basically a nobody. I guess he was, an up-and-comer, maybe even a jobber at this point. And that was his first. And over the next 20 years, he proceeded to rack up more than 650 wishes granted. The story says fellow WWE legend Hulk Hogan, NASCAR's Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Jeff Gordon have granted more than 200 wishes, but no one outside of John Cena has ever made it past the 300 mark. Hats off to John Cena. Taking your celebrity and the whole, his whole shtick since being in WWE has been about never giving up on yourself, just giving the kids, a good lesson to live by. And now that he's done this, he's a number one, top of the list, humanitarian sports celebrities all time. No question.
If you've never listened to this show before and you really want something that puts under a microscope the discrepancies between the two people you're listening to, here you go. Tank gives you a warm, heartwarming story, which was lovely.
Yes.
My story is about a man named Ryan Clark. Okay. He's a Colorado Avalanche fan. And apparently, he and his best friend, Kyle Stark, had glass-side seats for the Avalanche.
Okay.
Season tickets.
All right.
They were
happy fans
diehard, lifelong fans. So you're assuming they would be
over the moon now.
But absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one problem.
Okay.
Well, there's two problems, actually. Unfortunately, Mr. Stark passed away in December.
Okay.
So the avid hockey lover and Denver resident Ryan, his best friend, decided he was going to honor his friend by doing one of the most gross things I think I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
He took his friend's ashes and poured them on the ice at the Pepsi Center in January.
As you would.
First of all, stop doing that.
No.
Okay? Don't. That's weird. Okay? That's a person. If you want to spread somebody in the ocean, I get it.
Uh-huh.
Don't put them on. Like, people fall face down on that. That's weird. Stop doing that. Well, apparently, security at the Pepsi Center saw him and sent him a letter after kicking him out of the stadium that he was not allowed back in the arena for the rest of the year. Well, maybe you see the problem with that. He, I'm sure, didn't know that his team was going to wind up in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And he was asked by a Denver area newspaper over the weekend, do you regret what you did? What seems as though it was an olive branch from the team of you're a season ticket holder. Just say you're sorry.
No.
And we'll let you back in the arena. What did he say? I'd do it again.
I'd do it again.
If you gave me the chance,
Absolutely.
I'd do it again.
Absolutely. There is a code among bros, man. If your bro asks you to do something with his ashes when it's done, you do it. And with no regret.
I feel like I tell morbid stories on this show very often. And by the time that this show is over, all of you that have been loyal listeners of this show will completely know what my wishes are when the time comes and I pass away.
Which is not to be cremated.
Dude, well, 100%. You cremate me, I'll haunt you.
Right.
Instantaneously, if you have anything to do with that decision. If you even had the opportunity to object, haunted.
Yep.
But if by some stretch of the imagination some horrid thing happens, and you do, don't spread me on the ice at the Pepsi Center or at the Meadowlands or anywhere else. Take me to, like, the beach.
If I were to be, if I were to meet my end here pretty soon, I want you to sneak in and I want you to put me inside the talcum powder that LeBron James uses to spread it out.
I have 7 answers to this. They're all bad. We should move on. Every answer I could possibly give to this is going to get me in trouble.
You think it's weird? I've always been on board with it.
Oh, it's so weird.
Like, yes, when I die, cremate me, and I want a little bit of me spread everywhere that's important to me. Take me and spread me around, the old well at Carolina.
I would
take
rather
me to Fenway Park and just,
If you're going to take me to a stadium, we're going weekend at Bernie style. I want to dance.
And everything.
Okay?
I want to dance.
I want to dance. That's the only way I expect you to take me to an arena after I have met my end.
We'll get you on the kiss cam, too.
And
kissing some random woman.
And that does strike me as something I would do even in death.
Absolutely. No, I think Ryan Clark did the right thing. And I think that he did a solid. He did a solid for his buddy when he said, I would never do it again. I would not do it any different.
This is like the 4th one of these stories we've had. Of somebody takes their passed on buddy and spreads them in an arena, and then invariably what happens? You get in trouble. You know why? Because it's crimes. Don't do crimes, okay? It's not that hard.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and tomorrow it's going to be a big day in the NFL. We expect, anyway. All of the reports coming out are pretty much that we should know either tomorrow or in the next couple of days what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. The reports lately are that, yes, they're going to have this hearing tomorrow with the discipline committee or whatever it is from the NFL. And the NFL is apparently going to push for an indefinite suspension for Deshaun Watson, which is a year minimum suspension for the allegations of sexual misconduct that have come out against him. And I hate to say I told you so, but yeah, I remember when we were arguing about this many weeks ago. Obviously, things have changed since then.
Vehemently.
Things have very much changed since then. But you were adamant there was going to be no suspension. I told you there was going to be some kind of suspension.
No, what I said was he was going to fight a suspension.
But even I didn't believe that it was going to go to another year.
Well, the belief around the league, at least with the people I talk to, it could very easily be more than a year. It could very easily be more than a year. This could be an indefinite of we'll talk to you in a year, see where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Even if that's the case, I don't think Cleveland did the wrong thing.
I don't think they did either.
From a football perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We say this often on the show. We are not lawyers. We're not police officers. We weren't in the room. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
From a football perspective, even if he does not play one snap this year, I'll go one step further. I don't care if he plays a snap the first half of the following year. You still didn't do this wrong.
No.
When the football people came together and said, what do we do? You still didn't get this wrong. Now, the money is an albatross.
The money's a lot.
And that is our 12 Bones question of the day. What is the worst current contract in all of sports? Comment that in our YouTube stream or on our Facebook page for your chance to win and get entered into our 12 Bones Brewery and Smokehouse giveaway of the day.
Since Cleveland Browns gave Deshaun Watson the $230 million guaranteed contract, I have said they did not screw this up. I know that he's in trouble. I know it's a bad PR move, but when you think about it football-wise, if you're a team in the NFL and they give you an opportunity to get a top 5 quarterback when he's healthy and when he's playing.
I'm on a level he's not a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
He was.
Can't miss this long and still. But I'm acknowledging that there's going to be a regression there.
Mm-hmm.
Fact or fiction, there was no shot of this team winning a Super Bowl as previously constructed.
Agreed.
That's a fact. There is now no shot of that happening this year.
Yes.
Okay, so you're out exactly nothing.
Yes.
Let's say you hadn't done it. And where this came from is that I've heard this narrative of this is the worst decision in NFL history. No, it's not. It's not. Now, is he a skeezy guy? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of us know what happened? No, we don't. And if you claim to, then you're just as disingenuous as somebody that puts their fingers in their ears and acts like it didn't happen.
Right.
Just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
From a football perspective, which is what football people are entrusted to do, this is what you had to do. You had to make the move because everything around him was right.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue you need another weapon, but okay, whatever. You had the opportunity to go get a young quarterback in their prime. Did you overpay? Yes, you did, because you're the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen.
You had to.
I don't care who the quarterback is. You're going to have to overpay to get them. You had to overpay to get the quarterback that he's replacing. Because you went Baker Mayfield, and let's be really honest, the fact that he was a Johnny Rah-Rah kind of guy, that played into that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't think SoCal Sam Darnold was going to love being in Cleveland. And they had Baker ahead of Josh Allen. That doesn't make this a wrong decision from the football side of it. I feel like we get lost, especially in this medium, of we have to comment on things that we're not entitled to comment on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a lawyer. So what's going to happen there? I have no idea. I'm at the behest of people that I just so happen to know inside the league saying this is how this is going to go. If he plays a game for them before 2025, this was not the wrong move from a football perspective.
I would agree.
Now, the question is, what do you do now? And my biggest takeaway is that you cannot compound an error by making another error. After the break, there's an error that's floating around. You can't. You can't do it. You can't do it.
This is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube. More coming up next.
At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times.
Number 1. Make sure your kids wash their hands for 20 seconds after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside. 2. Virtual playdates. Social and physical distancing can help save lives. 3. Tell them they're safe and show your love and pride. Yes, we'll get through this together.
Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. This spring, you can share your own observations about nature with scientists and play a critical role in scientific discovery by adding to their data collection. Discover more about citizen science programs such as monitoring weather, observing plants and animals, and more. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Hey folks, DG here. I have raved about Dr. Rebecca Merrill and her staff at Asheville Smiles for years now, and I hope you've already taken my advice. But don't just take my word for it. Gary recently gave a 5-star review online saying, quote, "I love the personal touch, !" They did a great job and explained everything they were doing. I am very happy we found Asheville Smiles, ! Believe me and Gary and the online review masses. And visit AshevilleSmiles.com.
Hi, I'm Victoria Salinas, FEMA's Acting Deputy Administrator for Resilience. Hurricane season is here, and you are in a neighborhood that could flood. Here are some low and no-cost tips to help you get set. Store documents like passports and birth certificates in a flood-safe place. Elevate items that you want to protect. Toss out the debris from gutters and drains. Visit floodsmart.gov/set and ready.gov to learn more.
DQ presents the sound of a summer double play. It's the sound of drumstick pieces and peanuts combined with world-famous soft serve to make 2 all-star treats. The Drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard and new Caramel Drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard. Grab one today or get it delivered at DQ.com. Official treat of MLB. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The Sportsocracy.
One thing that you're going to have to remember, one most important factor, is to protect your quarterback, me.
The Deshaun Watson situation, the resolution, I guess we could say, should be coming out in the next couple of days. There's a big meeting tomorrow where the NFL discipline committee is going to get together, and they're going to have they're going to have the hearing. They're going to focus on 5 cases that they have gathered all of this information on, the 5 strongest sexual misconduct allegations that they feel they have enough evidence on, and talk about it with Deshaun Watson, and then they're going to make their decision. The word is they're pushing for an indefinite suspension. He'd be at least out for a year, and then maybe more on top of that.
And that just builds in the ability for the NFL to not look foolish.
Mm-hmm.
We know you're going to sit this year. We'll figure it out next year.
Right.
That is slightly kicking the can down the road, but that is something that we've talked about on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason you don't have a decision already.
Exactly.
And I feel like Goodell looked around and went, we have to do something now.
Mm-hmm. Pardon the expression, but the NFL does not want to get caught with its pants down on this thing. like they did with the Ray Rice situation. What else could come? Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what else could come. There could be more accusations that get made. I mean, hell, there was just another court case filed, a couple of weeks ago regarding the Deshaun Watson situation. So there could be more.
The one thing that I would caution Cleveland on, I don't feel like this was an error. Again, strictly from the football side of this.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you can make a mistake. And that's chasing another quarterback.
Yes.
I've heard Jimmy Garoppolo's getting ready to start resuming throwing.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say this vehemently enough. No. If this goes the way that I believe that it will, and he's not going to play a game this year,
mm-hmm.
you have one path. You just became the Baltimore Ravens with a drastically less talented quarterback. You're going to run a lot. And I'll be honest with you, you can do that. You can do that and I think be reasonably successful. Now, are you going to win this division? Good God, no.
No.
I'm not sure I thought you were going to do that in the first place. Are you going to really threaten for a playoff berth? No. But you can still be good.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be 8, 9, maybe even 10-win team. I'm going to ask you a question. How many running backs in the NFL had more attempts in 2021 than Nick Chubb?
3.
I should have prefaced this with, just remember he missed 3 full games.
Okay.
And part of another one.
I'll go 9.
7.
Okay.
Had he played a full season, you would have been somewhere in the neighborhood of about 300 carries anyway, and you still have Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, same question with Kareem Hunt.
Oh, how many had more
Mm-hmm.
carries than him? 13.
It's over 25.
Oh, okay.
He has 772 rushes in his career. So it's not like he's the average 26-year-old running back.
Right. Still a lot
These
of
are
tread
two
left.
very, we'll say, fleet-of-foot running backs that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it going to completely change this team? Yes. This is going to look much different than you intended it to. But I don't think it will be as drastic of a drop-off as people think.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have field rust with Deshaun Watson anyway. Now you just have to change where you're headed. My big question is, does Kevin Stefanski look around this and go, what am I doing with my life? Would you not be? A guy that's as smart as I think he is, and you had a slew of opportunities. You took this one, and now you've got to be looking around going, we're the bad news bears of the NFL. And that's just never going to change.
Yeah, but there's also a part of you that wants to be that guy. You want to be that guy that changes the fortunes of the entire franchise. You want to be able to turn things around. And I feel like there was a window for him to do that. The problem was Baker Mayfield. You had Baker Mayfield, and
that relationship
Baker Mayfield is the impetus of everything that has happened with the Cleveland Browns.
And that's the point of the 12 Bones question of the day.
Right.
And it's the reason that I don't think Deshaun Watson or any of the other names that I've heard are actually the right answer to that.
We got another hour of the program coming your way after the Sports Center update. San Francisco 49ers. We will recap their offseason, look at their prospects for the upcoming 2022 season. Also, we'll talk some basketball with the Kyrie Irving thing just will not go away.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are watching some slow-moving downpours out there, and we're lucky enough to have them here this week. Front, which is not that common for summertime, in the neighborhood for the next several days. That's going to keep some thunderstorms fueled up. Our low tonight, 59 degrees, mostly cloudy with a stray storm Tuesday, a high of 78, and then widely scattered storms for Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
The Jack Harlow meal from KFC is here. It comes with a spicy chicken sandwich, a side of mac and cheese, KFC secret recipe fries, ranch, and an ice cold lemonade. That's finger-licking good. Order your Jack Harlow meal today on the KFC app. Prices and participation may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Sportsocracy.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. As Wednesday's deadline approaches for Kyrie Irving to decide whether he'll pick up his $36 million player option with the Nets, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting the Lakers are the only NBA team planning a pursuit of a sign and trade for the Nets guard. Brooklyn's not believed to have any interest in any available LA packages. The Nets are holding firm to one thing when it comes to Kyrie, explains ESPN's Nick Friedel.
They want to know that Kyrie is going to be out there. And after the last few seasons, there were plenty of people in the organization that are thinking, I just don't know if I want to deal with all of this again. And if that runs the risk of potentially losing Kevin Durant, then it may happen. And that's what we're going to find out now moving forward here in the next few days.
Durant has not yet made any potential trade requests, according to Woj. The Texans formally named as defendants today in the ongoing civil case involving their former quarterback Deshaun Watson. The suit claims the Texans knew of Watson's alleged sexual misconduct during massages. His disciplinary hearing with the NFL is scheduled to begin tomorrow. Watson has maintained his innocence.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Kyrie, as far as the talent goes, there's no question that he would make the Lakers competitive. They would be contenders.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy, into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 locally, and, of course, everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, live or on demand. We are brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Love to have those wonderful businesses on board supporting local content for you, our lovely listeners. And here in the Ingles Studio, we love to, we love to have some fun. And so that means talking football, because honestly, that is the way of the world.
And don't worry, we will get into the basketball story of the day. I promise I will only laugh
a little bit.
4 times.
He came up with, or when we were talking about this earlier today, he had the most maniacal laugh I think I've ever heard from someone not named Heath Ledger when we were talking about Kyrie Irving.
Well, you got to understand, I was a Knicks fan for a long time.
Uh-huh.
So there is a sheer, unabashed hatred for the Nets that I can only kind of explain. Okay. Not because they're any good.
I was going to say.
But just because they're that team that you have an innate just disdain for.
When have they ever been anything worth hating?
Never. They're the Cleveland Browns of basketball. I get it. I've been called a homer in spite of the fact I tapped out on the Knicks long ago because I was not going to allow them to hurt me any longer.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it funny that this has gone exactly how I told you it was going to. About 9 seconds after it happened.
Yeah, there are 15 shows from today where we will lead up to training camps opening in the NFL. And so we're doing an AFC team and an NFC team preview each and every day. We did the Kansas City Chiefs at the top of the 3 o'clock hour, and now we get to talk about the San Francisco 49ers, the runner-up in the NFC last year, losing to the Los Angeles Rams, who went en route to winning the Super Bowl this past season. San Francisco, this is a team much like Kansas City. There's a lot of question marks for me about them.
And that's funny because there's only one to me.
There's only one, and it's the quarterback. There's only one,
and it's the quarterback.
Okay.
So what are your question marks about San Francisco?
My question marks are, what is there going to be any fallout from the Deebo Samuel?
No.
No? Nothing?
Where are you going to go? No, you're going to get this deal done in the next 2-ish weeks.
Mm-hmm.
George Kittle just came out and said this. Every big deal they've ever done has been within 2 weeks of training camp starting.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way it's going to happen with Deebo, too. It's just how that team operates.
And they're just going to brush everything under the rug, and Deebo's going to be happy going back to the way things were. And because one of the things that we heard from Deebo, or from, I guess, from Deebo's people, or was reported about Deebo and what he was thinking about the San Francisco 49ers and his role with them, is that he didn't like his role with the team.
Well, if you want to be paid like this guy, if you want to be paid like a top 10 wide receiver, let's be real honest, you're not.
No.
You're a top 10 weapon.
Mm-hmm.
If we can run you out of the backfield and do all these different things that we did with you last year, then you're paid as a top 10 guy.
Absolutely.
You want to be paid as the receiver you are, you're not much better than Brandon Ayuk. So that's a slightly different tax bracket if you'd like to have that conversation.
And I just wonder. I wonder where his head's at, if he's going to be all in and all of that. Will there be any hangover from that? Will he push back on the game plan if part of the game plan is to use him continually in that?
That's all going to depend on if I'm right and this contract gets done,
mm-hmm.
of which it's going to. He's not playing another snap without some kind of certainty because they're not going to stop using him that way. It would be dumb to.
Mm-hmm.
If you were not going to use him that way, you should trade him at the draft.
Absolutely.
Taking what the Jets were offering, which was not as much as it was reported that it was, but it was still substantial.
Mm-hmm.
You would have done quite nicely and added a couple players to your team. If you weren't going to pay him, you would have done that. You didn't, which tells me that's going to get done. You're also not going to have that level of uncertainty. Look, you're not going to throw but so many circus-level atmosphere things at a quarterback like Trey Lance. You're already going to have one with Jimmy Garoppolo. You don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Until people see him throw, no one is going to be comfortable with making a move on him.
Yes.
Because he's not going to rally the fan base no matter who does it. I still maintain Washington should have done it, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
You're going to get Deebo done solely because I think you have to. You have to have his best weapon under contract, totally bought in, to give him the best opportunities to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand, Trey Lance is a player that in the last 3 years has thrown less than 400 passes total. So this is not going to be the easiest learning curve you've ever seen regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Best case scenario, it's not going to be seamless.
And was there much that he showed you in the minimal time that you got to see him last year that there is something special about him? Special enough to have been the number 3 overall pick in the draft and for your team to have given up all the draft capital that they gave up to get you? That's
yes.
the question. Okay, you believe so.
There are not many guys on this planet that have an arm like that have athletic ability like that.
Mm-hmm.
Could it bust out? No doubt. Zach Wilson could do the same thing. Trevor Lawrence could do the same thing. But the ceiling on him is so drastically higher than it is with Mac Jones that, to me, that was the right call no matter how this goes. I know what Mac Jones is going to be unequivocally. I have no doubt there is virtually no shot he is going to surprise me in any shape, form, or fashion. Trey was a bit more of a wild card. I said when he came into the process, he's the closest thing I've ever seen to Cam Newton, and I think he has a drastically better arm.
Mm-hmm.
You put him in this offense, which it really the opportunities here have always been intoxicating to me because there's so much movement and so many things that happen pre-snap. Now you add an element of somebody that actually does have the athletic ability to hurt you. I think that lessens some of that learning curve. That makes you don't have to make the best decisions with the football. You don't have to be hyper accurate because they're going to manufacture plus plays for you. That's the reason I feel like they've looked at Jimmy Garoppolo and go, just please get healthy. Just get healthy. We will give you up for a bag of footballs right now. We don't even want you changing the television channel with your remote. Just put that arm where it's supposed to be and get healthy.
Yeah.
If they had any fear, they would not be this antsy to move off of him. Now, I mean, you painted yourself into a corner, but you knew that a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of what did I see from him, I saw what I thought I was going to see. A guy that is hyper raw. Not if I remember correctly, the stat that I gave during the draft a year ago, he had thrown as many passes in his college career as Trevor Lawrence had thrown in 9 games. It's obviously not an apples-to-apples comparison, but it doesn't have to be. Trevor Lawrence has to be the best player on the field for that team because they lack talent to such an extreme. San Francisco doesn't have that problem. They have running backs. They have a good offensive line. It's not as good as it was losing Laken Tomlinson. Thank you for that.
And Alex Mack retiring. I mean, that's a big gaping hole in the middle of the line.
That was more of a leadership thing. Towards the end, look, he was still good. He wasn't Alex Mack.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Mack was one of the 5 best centers of the last 20 years.
Sure.
He wasn't that guy anymore. Now, not having that with a raw quarterback, that part's not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been nice to have had back, but I'm not overly concerned by that.
Because you think just Kyle Shanahan knows there's a center on this team. He knows. Do you think he knows who's going to take it over?
Yeah, it's Daniel Brunskill. I can tell you exactly who it is.
Okay.
And he's not Alex Mack. He wasn't particularly good at times last year, but I think he will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are very few schemes in the NFL anymore that I look at and just go, you know what? I trust you because it hasn't made sense to me in the past, and it's always somehow found a way to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is three-dimensional chess. This is not the West Coast offense where, we're just going to throw quick little on-time routes and we know where we're going and you have to react to us. It has some of the same tenets of that, but it's so much more than that. I've always felt like Kyle Shanahan was 2 years ahead of the NFL. You want to see what offense is going to look like 24 months from now? Watch San Francisco. Watch Atlanta when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Washington when he was there. Because he is an innovative guy. And now you're throwing a piece into this offense that, is it a refined work of art? No, by no stretch. Trey Lance is a big hunk of marble that you're hoping you can sculpt into exactly what you were looking for. Now, the problem with that is that you can irrevocably screw this up, and 3 years from now you go, well, it wasn't great. But I could argue they were in the same boat that Cleveland was. You were going no further than you had already gone.
True.
There's
Although you had gone much further than Cleveland. You had already been to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. You
competed one last year.
Well, I mean, let's face it. One of you's the 49ers and one of you's the Browns.
Sure.
So I'm just talking about from a quarterback perspective, Jimmy Garoppolo had taken you as far as he was going to take you.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying it couldn't have gotten you to another Super Bowl? Nope. I don't think he was ever going to win you one. The Trent Dilfer days, that we've kind of progressed past that. Jared Goff can get to a Super Bowl. Let me see him win one before it really means anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you did what you had to do. Now it's a question of the things around them. In terms of, you said you had questions.
Yes.
I don't see that many questions. I see a defense that is going to be hellhounds at the door. That pass rush is going to be ridiculous. It was ridiculous last year. Without you having one of these pieces, and Javon Kinlaw, who was a first-round pick for you, looking like he could not play dead in a Western.
Mm-hmm.
I don't physically think he could be that bad again. If you get anything from him, it's going to be an improvement on what you got last year. The linebacking core is good. I love this secondary. So defensively,
you do?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I mean, because I look at this secondary and I go, I don't know that it's that much different than Kansas City's situation.
But you have to remember the scheme discrepancy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans defense. This is not Steve Spagnuolo of I'm going to send 6 at you and, hey, L'Jarius Sneed, wishing you the best of luck out there.
Right.
That's not what this is.
Right.
This is what I said with the Jets when we went through the draft process. The reason I couldn't wrap my head around they were going to draft Ahmad Gardner at 4 is because this system doesn't really require that. It requires guys that can keep action in front of them, that can make adjustments as the ball is being thrown as opposed to right after it's thrown. And that's what they have. In terms of the biggest drawback to me, it all comes back to the quarterback. If Trey Lance is I would say we could universally say Jimmy Garoppolo is a league average quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Fact or fiction?
Fact.
You got to the NFC Championship game with that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was hurt. And he was inconsistent. And 2 of your best weapons were hurt a pretty good bit.
Yeah.
You need to be healthy, and you need that plus the running ability from Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm. And the question is Trey Lance that? Is Trey Lance an average quarterback in the NFL, or is he going to be worse than that?
And I kind of go into the Lamar Jackson thing. Lamar Jackson's not an elite thrower of the football. I don't think anybody with an IQ above salad dressing would try to sell you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what he is. He's a matchup disaster.
Sure.
Because you can't do the same things to defend him that you can do with other people. Well, you look in that division, you're lining up against Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford. That's a drastically different game plan than the 6'4", just I don't even know how to describe the kid because he's a giant, and he's hyper athletic. And I kind of look at the two the same way. I'm going to scheme this differently. I'm going to go at you in a way that other teams don't. And so you don't really have the personnel.
Mm-hmm.
You're building an NFL defense right now to go against the Pat Mahomes, the Justin Herberts, guys like that. That's always been the upside of Josh Allen. I've always laughed at, well, Brian Daboll just completely revolutionized Josh Allen. No, he didn't. He changed the scheme. He figured out that I've got a bowling ball and you can't stop him. So you're going to have to put an extra guy in the box or he will eviscerate you. Then all of a sudden the windows got bigger, and the fact that he wasn't the most accurate quarterback didn't matter all that much. I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan going, who would I rather have? Who do I trust more? Brian Daboll or Kyle Shanahan?
It's not close.
It's not close.
It's not close.
It's
Kyle
not
Shanahan.
close.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always revert back to, what do my old friends out in the desert have to say? I ask you the same question about San Francisco I asked you about Kansas City.
Okay.
How many teams in the NFL have lower odds to win the Super Bowl than the San Francisco 49ers?
5.
6.
Okay.
They're the 7th most likely team in the NFL. Wow. The ones in front of them are the Chargers, Packers, Rams, Chiefs, Buccaneers, and Bills. What does that tell you? They're not looking for sucker money. This is not the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
49er fans, for all of, and there are some deficiencies there, don't get me wrong, they tend to be pretty realistic about their team. They're not catching bad money here. What they're afraid of is, what if he's better than we think he is? What if Trey Lance is what we saw last year, refined a little bit? Now that becomes a really difficult team to scheme against.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play good defense.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to get after quarterbacks. They have a ridiculous rotation of defensive linemen, which is what this scheme is predicated on. And they're hedging their bets. Do they think San Francisco's winning the Super Bowl? No. But they could. And you're not going to catch a big liability there. There are goal fixtures in Vegas for a reason. They look at teams like this and go, your high side's good enough to burn us.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say that about a lot of teams.
The question marks that I have about this team are the cornerback, or the quarterback, the secondary, which it doesn't have name recognition, and I'm not saying these guys aren't good players. I mean, Travarius Ward he's a fine corner in this league.
I like Travarius Ward, by the way. That was one of my favorite pickups of the offseason.
Was it really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Travarius Ward is a good corner, and he fits this scheme tremendously.
I'm not over the moon about him, but he's good. He's good. And then it's the line. It's the losses on the line that they've had with Laken Tomlinson and Alex Mack, and who's going to fill those roles. And they did get a lot of rookies, but how much do you put in the rookies' hands of securing your star quarterback, of creating the holes for your young running back, who I believe has a chance to be one of the top, 5 running backs in the NFL this year.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, you believe in Elijah Mitchell.
I do.
In a way, literally, his family doesn't believe in him as much as you do. Yeah, they took a running back in the 3rd round. That should tell you just about everything you need to know of how they feel about Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
After they took one in the 3rd round the previous year.
Mm-hmm. Who flamed out and did nothing.
And he's still on the team.
So
it's still the same.
Yeah,
still the same front office. Still the same brain trust.
Yeah, but he ain't got. I mean, Trey Sermon is 5th on the depth chart now.
He'll have a role. He'll have a role. I'm just telling you. Okay. That's what San Francisco does. How many times have we gone through fantasy football? Well, Raheem Mostert, when he's on the field, well, he's never on the field. And then what happens?
Right.
Jeff Wilson's on line 1.
Yeah. Somebody comes out of nowhere. I get it. Elijah Mitchell, though, was a guy that I felt like he was damn good when he played last year. And if he stays healthy, he's got the ability to be one of the best in the league, at least stats-wise, because that's what this scheme does. They run the ball a lot.
I love how Elijah Mitchell is officially a player that I was drunk in love on coming through the draft process. I think I've said it so many times, and you watched the film on it, you fell in love with him, and I went, okay, he's on it, I'm out.
Yeah.
He's on it, I'm out. You're like that dad that wore was it Ed Hardy shirts. As soon as you saw that one specific person wearing it, you go, okay, that's out of style now.
Right.
No, we can't
yeah,
do
we're
that.
not doing that anymore.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
So that's how you feel about Elijah Mitchell. You're just off the bandwagon.
It's not that I'm off the bandwagon. It's just people are going crazy about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that uses a rotation of running backs. There's a reason they have 5.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I go a step further and say that's why I feel so good about Trey Lance. You were talking about losses on the offensive line. This is a hyper-mobile offense. That's what it's predicated on, is having offensive linemen that can get out in front, zone blocking scheme, simplify. And that's, to me, the best-case scenario for a guy like Trey Lance. In our YouTube comments, Stephen Tao asked, what does Trey Lance do better than Justin Fields? How long you got? Because it's a whole mess of things. He be 6'4" real good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as good as any 6'4" quarterback I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That is just thick and it will run by choice.
Built to take the punishment.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Decision-making is exponentially better in a small sample size against lesser competition. I get it. The feet don't tend to get as happy. I think he's got a bigger arm. To me, he was a better prospect. He was a rawer prospect, but I liked where the ceiling was a lot better. And then you look at where they went. One goes to Chicago, notorious for breaking quarterbacks. One goes to San Francisco, notorious for making quarterbacks better than they actually are.
San Francisco 49ers, a team that I feel like is locked into the number 2 spot in the NFC West. I can't see them getting over Los Angeles this year, but they are head and shoulders above the other 2 teams in this division. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Kyrie Irving, KD, the Brooklyn Nets, and somehow the Los Angeles Lakers all wrapped into this huge drama cesspool.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are watching some slow-moving downpours out there, and we're lucky enough to have them here this week. Front, which is not that common for summertime, in the neighborhood for the next several days. That's going to keep some thunderstorms fueled up. Our low tonight, 59 degrees, mostly cloudy with a stray storm Tuesday, a high of 78, and then widely scattered storms for Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 26 westbound between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound stop and go approaching Brevard Road to approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway. In Haywood County near Canton, 40 westbound near Champion Drive, NC Highway Patrol reporting a disabled vehicle. The shoulder is closed here. In the Royal Pines area, Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound stop and go between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Horseshoe Cummings Road to Banner Farm Road, seeing delays both directions. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If summer is heating up your hiring needs, then you need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Energy consumption is a primary contributor to a changing climate, producing around 27% of greenhouse gases in the United States. Save money and energy at home by turning off your computer completely before you go to bed. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
It's a can't-miss summer on Today. This week, we'll help you plan your summer getaway. Plus, the star of Minions, Steve Carell. And Keith Urban kicks off your weekend. Watch The Today Show every morning on NBC.
DQ presents the sound of a summer double play. It's the sound of drumstick pieces and peanuts combined with world-famous soft serve to make 2 all-star treats. The Drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard and new Caramel Drumstick with Peanuts Blizzard. Grab one today or get it delivered at DQ.com. Official treat of MLB. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Now is the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingles Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Land to Sky distributors fleet. Start with 2 weeks paid time off and paid holidays. Our drivers average over $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Land to Sky offers excellent pay and a great benefits package. 6 months of CDLA driving experience is required to apply. Visit ingles-markets.com/careers to know more. That's ingles-markets.com/careers.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
And we're always coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Want to remind everybody that this 2-hour program goes to 3 hours in just, what, a week?
In a week.
Wow.
We have 4 more shows after today.
July
and then
the 5th.
there will be a whole new drive time audience of people that have been at work all day and then get angry at me.
That's right. July the 5th here on ESPN Asheville, we add a 3rd hour. Everybody loved the happy hours that we did on YouTube, and the management here has said, you know what, let's just do another hour. Let's put it on the air.
We couldn't possibly find anything cheaper than these 2.
That's right.
Like there's no humanly possible way.
See, it's not just me that looks for a bargain.
Hey,
Brian Hall,
I'm okay with that.
He's right along line with it. So
my greatest ability, availability.
Exactly. July the 5th, we go from 3 to 5 to 3 to 6, adding in the 3rd hour.
And I feel like I should, Stephen Tao in our comments said still won't fit baseball in. That's actually not true. There will be more of, look, you don't want to hear my opinions on, but if you like baseball, I'm the last person you want to hear talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is a golden-voiced little feller that just resides right down the hall here at iHeart that you will hear more of with that extra added hour.
Indeed.
And some new friends, and we have a lot of things planned. It's going to be very interactive. That 3rd hour is going to be a lot of, hey, this is what you want to hear, which is why you should follow us on social medias and make your voice heard.
I mean, we could talk about baseball, but we're not going to right now. Kyrie Irving. It's the thing that won't die. I mean,
it's coming to a head.
It's coming to a head.
Oh, it's absolutely coming to a head.
So I think is it tomorrow? Tomorrow is when he can opt in to the last year or to the player option year on his contract with the Brooklyn Nets that would pay him $36 million for the upcoming season. Or there's been talk about a sign and trade deal.
Well, if it's a sign and trade, there's only one team that's interested in that.
And it's the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, because they have their own train wreck point guard that they would really like rid of.
Right.
I'm not sure there's anything that would make me happier than the Lakers trade disaster Russell Westbrook for head case Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
If for nothing else, because what's left on both sides is just pure carnage. Kevin Durant is Seacrest out.
Mm-hmm.
They moved Kyrie Irving. He wants out, and apparently there are teams around the league that are planning he's going to get out.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what the New York Knicks were doing with the draft fiasco.
Yeah,
they were hoping.
You're going to need far more doubloons than you currently have, and I don't think you can actually clear that much space.
They were hoping maybe we can get Kevin Durant. It'll be the next big bubble that we sell our fans on.
Well, there's a possibility. We'll talk about this after we get weird.
Right.
There's a possibility that I could actually see this working out for one team. But it isn't pretty, and it sounds really weird when you say it out loud.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
There has been a study done, Jeremy, or at least I guess a survey of we see these all the time. Best place in the world for blank. Best place in the United States to retire to, or any of these. This is a new one that I never even thought about. Frankly, because the word working vacation never comes into my mind. If I'm taking a vacation, I'm not working. Hence the term vacation.
I cannot say the same thing about myself.
You've taken working vacations before.
Every vacation for me is a working vacation.
Oh, is it really? I'm
curious. At least early. And get the emails out of the way, and then go hit the beach, and 24 natural lights later.
All right, look, if I'm going on vacation, I'm going on vacation. So if I get in my car and I drive X amount of hours away from my home to go to a place, I'm doing nothing.
Well, not all of us have the luxury of that.
Sure,
I've had a slew of jobs that, you're leaving the office? Oh, okay.
That's cute.
We'll try not to set it on fire while you're gone.
Right. It's just me. This is the way I work on vacation. If I'm going on vacation, vacation starts at 5 o'clock on Friday, just using that as an example, and I will be back to do worky things on the following Monday or whenever I'm supposed to come back. Working vacation never comes into my lexicon. However, I guess that's a lot of people do that. And apparently that's become a thing where there are people who will take working vacations. And Iceland Air, the air carrier, has done a survey of the best places in the world to go on a working vacation, where you can go to this city and you can do your work in the morning and then you can enjoy the rest of the day. And the best place around the world for you to be able to go on a working vacation is, Jeremy, where?
Oh, Las Vegas, Charleston, South Carolina, Austin, Texas, San Diego. Have I hit any of the four of them?
No, you haven't hit any of them.
I've done all four of those, and they're all quite lovely.
None of those are in the top 10.
Yep, this list is stupid.
Just to give you a couple of the top 10. Number 10, Helsinki, Finland. Frankfurt, Germany came in 8th. Perth, Australia, which is a beautiful place.
Fantastic. We're 3 in. We've already got a city that I didn't know existed.
Edinburgh in the UK comes in at 5. Then you got Wellington in New Zealand at 3.
They make great beef from what I
yes,
hear.
They do. Great sausages in Vienna, Austria by the way, which is number 2.
A lot of food-related places here.
And then number 1, Kansas City. How is that the number 1 place in the world to go on a working vacation?
Well, I mean, I guess you don't get distracted by the nightlife. You go get some ribs for dinner and just sit in your hotel room and just, why did I not go to Cleveland?
I guess. But apparently, according to Iceland Air, they believe that Kansas City is the number 1 place in the world for you to go on a working vacation. Oddly enough, in this story, though, the best part of it is that it says, while remote work makes it easier than ever to take a working vacation, a lot of people are coming back from these breaks, quote unquote, more burnout than when they left.
Weird.
No kidding. Are you serious? It says, according to Expedia's latest vacation deprivation study, which of course they did one of those, of 14,500 working adults across 16 countries, they found out that 61% of Americans who took a working vacation in the last year didn't consider them to be true vacations. And 72% of people who worked through their vacation reported feeling more burned out than ever. It's because you're not doing the vacation right. Vacation means no work.
Not all of us have that luxury. Speaking of luxuries, Jessica Hotvet of Spirit Lake, Idaho.
Hotvet. She works with animals?
Possibly.
Okay.
There is a... Never mind. No good can come from what I was getting ready to say. She says her family, and I quote, "This is a nightmare. This is absolutely the worst thing I could have imagined." They have a house in Idaho.
Okay.
And they have a child that rides the bus.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
And 20 days ago, their child got off the bus, went in the house, and went to do her homework.
Okay.
But there was something strange. There were people working on the house, and the child was small and just thought, maybe they didn't clue me in. And then Miss Hotvet got home and realized that her home did not have a roof, which would not be strange, except she did not hire anyone to replace her roof.
Oh, dear.
However, apparently her neighbors did.
They went to the wrong house?
They went to the wrong house.
And
they went to the wrong house.
Roof.
They went to the wrong house and took off the wrong roof and then did not put the roof back.
Yeah, we got problems.
The roofing company is DR Roofing LLC. And apparently they told the family that their insurance would handle it. And we're at 3 weeks and they haven't. Which, here's bad news number 1, was poorly timed because they just had a series of outrageous downpour thunderstorms roll through Spirit Lake, Idaho.
Yikes.
Which has caused a lot of damage to carpet and different furnishings in the home. And then there's this other part that, okay, I don't know a lot about construction, but I did sell roofs for a very small period of time. They had a metal roof.
Mm-hmm.
You don't replace those. That's kind of the point. There's really no reason to replace a metal roof. That's why you have one.
Right.
I cannot for the life of me figure out how you would go to a house and just go, yep, we're pulling this off.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need anybody to tell us anything. It's going to be $70,000 to replace their roof.
Mm-hmm.
$70,000. How do you get that wrong? Is there nobody to verify? Like, do you not think when you show up, maybe the homeowner's there? Can you not check the mailbox? This appears to be a place that probably has a mailbox at the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
Is the name not the same? Maybe you should have asked a question.
Is it one of those neighborhoods where the mailboxes are right next to each other on the same side of the street? And so
I'm going to be honest with you. In the picture, I don't see another house within the sight of it. And it's quite a wide angle shot.
Right. That's incredible. I have to imagine.
I would do crimes. I'm here to tell you, if I got home and my house was missing one of the tenants of the home and I had contracted no one to do that, I would probably be doing crimes.
Yeah, probably
immediately. So. I don't care if you have to stay here all night and do it in the dark. I need a roof.
Yeah. Well, you can stamp your feet all you want to, sir. We gave you ample coverage with our tarp.
Yep, that's not going to be good
the
enough.
biggest tarp I've ever seen, apparently, to cover an entire roof.
It's a very tapestried tarp that's over this house.
Tapestried?
And it's a big word.
Let's sew a bunch of them together. Is that what that is?
Yeah. They taped them together.
With duct tape.
It is duct tape.
No, it's not.
It is duct tape.
Stop that.
I would be incensed.
At least Flex Seal. Use some. I hear that stuff works wonders.
Is that the thing that in the commercial they put it on the bottom of a boat with a hole in it that it floats?
Right. You need to Flex Seal the top of the roof. I don't know.
I'm not, as I said, I'm not the handiest man. I'm going to venture a guess that does not work.
Maybe not. I don't know. It seems to work on the infomercials.
It always works in the infomercial.
Yeah. Be a hell of an opportunity for the Flex Seal people to be like, hey, we just replaced all these people's entire roof with nothing but Flex Seal.
And since you mentioned that, why is it, and we don't, infomercials are not much of a thing anymore. Why is it that every person that was ever in an infomercial looked like they probably did not have the common sense to function long enough to live one day in this world? Pour hot soup, and then they just take it off with no gloves, like, oh, it burned my hands. What do I do? We have this glove.
All right.
It's made out of the same stuff they put on the side of the space shuttle so you can move a bowl of soup.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and Jeremy and I have been getting healthier with the PhD weight loss program. Happy to report I am over 77 pounds down since the week before Thanksgiving, thanks to PhD Weight Loss and their program for better nutrition. They will teach you how to live a better life and shed the pounds very, very quickly. I've been going through this big yo-yo about clothes, like the clothes that I bought to replace the fat clothes, as I call them. Now those are getting too small.
Oh, that's the good thing about being me. I always wore clothes that were maybe a little tight for a fat guy. And now I have just lost my way right into an entire wardrobe that I already had.
There you go.
I had a slew of health issues before we started this. I couldn't sleep. Sleep apnea had become a legitimate problem. And I couldn't be active because even the smallest activity would leave me completely worn out. Now, I'm actually walking golf courses. I'm playing 3 times a week, and I'm sleeping better than I have since high school. And it's all thanks to the plan of nutrition of PhD Weight Loss.
I love the reactions from people that I haven't seen in a while. Maybe I haven't seen them since Thanksgiving. This past weekend, ran into a friend over at a restaurant, and they were like, oh, my God, I can't believe how little there is left of you. I am down under 220 pounds now. I still have a ways to go to reach my weight loss goal, but I know with PhD, Dr. Ashley Lucas has the plan for me to reach that goal. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. Find out what they can do for you. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Kyrie Irving, this would be a great way for the Brooklyn Nets to shed some unwanted pounds. Let's get Kyrie Irving out of the building.
Yeah, there's only one problem. Nobody wants him.
That's true. Unlike your fat weight that you might lose, that can just disappear. You got to do something with this dead weight. And the Brooklyn Nets are in a position where we don't care what it takes. We will not work with Kyrie Irving again.
The story has come out today that now the Nets are prepared to lose both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about this story that's not adding up to me.
Okay.
All right, so the Lakers are the only team that has engaged Brooklyn in signing trades.
Mm-hmm.
He's not opting out of this deal.
No.
Look.
He'd be a moron.
There are a lot of things I can say about Kyrie Irving. Selfless and willing to give up money, not going to be real high on that list.
No.
He could make $6 million with the mid-level taxpayer exception from the Lakers. He's not giving up $30 million. Doesn't make any sense. No player's ever done in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
It's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, how exactly do you think you're going to rectify all this? The Lakers are the only team interested in taking Kyrie Irving on. Russell Westbrook for Kyrie does not work. I struggle to believe the Lakers can't give up any draft picks. They have no young players. I struggle to believe there is a deal there, but it's one of my most basic questions. Who wants you to know this? Who wants you to know that the only team engaging them on Kyrie is the Lakers?
I don't know.
It's the most powerful person in this sport. LeBron James. It's the only one that makes any sense. Brooklyn does not want this out because they don't want to look so absolutely, unequivocally stupid. You brought this together, now you're going to lose Kevin Durant because of Kyrie Irving, and now you're left with what? Ben Simmons and a bunch of dudes. You got Ben Simmons and Joe Harris and Seth Curry.
Woo!
Woo! 12th in the East is calling your name. It's not the Lakers, because if this doesn't work out, you don't want to be seen as the team that was used for leverage. So to me, this says there's a little smoke here. There's at the very least a little smoke. There's one way that this works.
Okay.
Kyrie and KD want to play together. I think I think it's been made perfectly clear. They couldn't rectify the relationship, and that pushes KD out the door. Why not send them together?
To the Los Angeles Lakers?
There's only one path you're coming out of this with a superstar.
Anthony Davis.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
That is the only humanly possible way you're coming out of this with a superstar.
Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook to the Brooklyn Nets for KD and Kyrie.
It sounds nuts when you say
awful.
it.
It's awful.
It's horrible.
It's awful. I don't
do better.
Yeah.
Do better.
That's true.
There are only a handful of teams that can take on KD's
But
contract.
is this a straight-up deal? What would have to be given up? Because you said Lakers don't have prospects. They don't have draft picks. They don't have the things to sweeten the pot.
I think it would have to be, well, without bringing in another team, which is why I wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
Because there is a path. There is a path that a team close to here could potentially get exactly what it is that they're looking for.
No. So you include Gordon Hayward in the deal.
And Gordon Hayward would end up having to go to the Nets.
And Russell Westbrook comes to Charlotte. Anthony Davis goes to Brooklyn.
And how that trade exactly would fall out, it's gross.
It is.
It's gross. But it makes three things that I have heard incessantly. Makes them work. Russell Westbrook for Kyrie does not work. Brooklyn won't do it. They have no interest in, and there's another part of that. In the story, it says they have no interest in any packages from the Lakers of young players.
Yeah.
Did you notice that got thrown in there? There's no package of young talent that the Lakers have because they don't have any young talent. So
THT is like the only one.
Well, and he's $10 million. He signed the deal, so he's a $10 million a year player.
True.
That's not a throw in a guy on a rookie deal. There's only one way this is going to work. Because if you go, all right, let's say they try to cobble together some trade for Kyrie. Now you're going to have to give Kevin Durant away for 10 cents on the dollar. Because no team with an IQ above salad dressing doesn't realize that Kevin Durant doesn't have the cachet to get out of there if he wants out. Already seen you do it once. Didn't force a trade, but by golly, you took the first train out of town. I kind of feel like they're completely leveraged here. There are only so many ways this can work. Now, the report out today is that there are several teams in the NBA that are monitoring the Kevin Durant situation, thinking that he is going to be available. The Nets have let it be known they're ready to lose them both. And to me, that means Kyrie Irving is the worst contract in the NBA. Just the sheer fact he's on the roster. Because he's not going to opt out. Oh, there's only a year. I don't care. Because he is the absolute albatross that you can't just let walk out the door. This is the point I try to make with these players. And they run the gambit of Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, John Wall, Baker Mayfield. I could keep doing this for a long time. You can't just cut bait on it. And that's where Brooklyn's at now. We can't just give him up to who will take him. That's the reason nobody's in on him. There are teams that could unload bad weight to get Kyrie Irving, and it's a good deal for them. Why would I want to do that? Why would I do that? I sold you on this premise that we were going to be championship contenders. You're not. You're the same losers you've been for my entire life. You're the same losers that took Kerry Kittles instead of Kobe Bryant. That's who you are.
Right.
And so now you're going to have to unwind this by eradicating a mistake that you made 3 years ago. I said when they signed here, this is a disaster of a pairing.
Yes, you did.
They've done nothing to prove me wrong. But They were one game from the finals. Did they win it?
No.
No. The Cleveland Browns were 15 minutes from the Super Bowl. Did they win it? No. Because it's an old line that I was told as a young boy. Winners win and losers lose. Los Angeles Lakers are winners. The Brooklyn Nets are losers. So now looking at this big standoff, there's only one potential beneficiary here. You have two players in Brooklyn that have the entire franchise hijacked. They are completely ready to be terrible with a team centered around Ben Simmons. You don't think they're going to sign up for Anthony Davis and go, that's the best we can do?
You know, I thought it was crazy when I saw somebody.
I did too.
Somebody did the article on Yahoo Sports, I believe it was, of, here are the destinations for Kevin Durant. And I went, whoa, where's this coming from? And then you dig a little bit deeper and you find out that he hasn't even talked to Sean Marks since the season ended.
No, it's been percolating under this has been festering
This is awful.
For weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kyrie, they can't come together. I heard the Brian Windhorst report earlier. They would rather lose both than have to deal with Kyrie Irving again. That is next level kind of bad.
Absolutely.
Of a team will tap out on a universally regarded as a top 3 in this league player just to get rid of you. That is a level of disaster that I don't think I've ever seen before. Even the Houston Rockets, with what to me is the most onerous contract in John Wall, they even had the audacity to say, yeah, we'll trade him to you. To L.A. We'll trade him. We'll take on Russell Westbrook, and you'll give us 2 first-round picks.
Yikes.
There's none of that here because you have no leverage. Because a player that is this talented, the league has looked at and gone, I'd rather lose. I would rather lose than win with you because you are such a me-first, selfish headache. I'd rather not.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, I mean, can you get madder than that?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Jeremy's going to be mad.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving time ago, 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 eastbound between Bavard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In Buncombe County near Jupiter, future 26 westbound at Stockton Road, an incident causing congestion. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound. Near Long Shoals Road, very busy. Again, Bavard Road north and southbound, very busy between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway.
This report is sponsored by News Nation. Want the news without the noise? News Nation is news for all America, reporting all sides. No spin and no agendas. Go to newsnationnow.com/join us to find News Nation on your television provider.
Hi, I'm Victoria Salinas, FEMA's Acting Deputy Administrator for Resilience. Hurricane season is here, and you are in a neighborhood that could flood. Here are some low and no-cost tips to help you get set. Store documents like passports and birth certificates in a flood-safe place. Elevate items that you want to protect. Toss out the debris from gutters and drains. Visit floodsmart.gov/set and ready.gov to learn more.
Are you ready for a change to something where you work with your hands installing cable? Spectrum Cable pays their field technicians $20 per hour, and they're having a job fair from 10 to 2 on June 30th. They're doing on-site interviews at their 89 Peachtree Road location, and they require no experience. Apply now for benefits like 401k, discounted cable, internet, and phone services too. Mark your calendar for Thursday, June 30th, 10 to 2, and come apply to be a field technician with Spectrum.
Ray Magliozzi here. I don't cook much, but when I need ingredients for my car, eBay Motors has 122 million options. So whether I toasted my transmission or cooked my clutch, eBay Motors has all the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
When flying insects show up in your home, how do you get rid of them? Hopelessly clapping every single one? Aimlessly swatting back and forth? Hanging fly strips in your living room? Ew, ew, ew. Instead, try Zevo Traps. Zevo uses light, not odor or chemical insecticides, to attract and trap bugs, working continuously so you don't have to. Zevo, people-friendly. Bug-deadly. Now at a store near you.
They say to never mess with the classics, but Panera did just that and more with our new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. By using pan-seared chicken, our secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisps, and pickle chips, all on a buttery brioche roll. Because if no one messed with the classics, you'd never have a chicken sandwich this good. New Chef's Chicken Sandwiches from Panera. Only $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit PaneraBread.com/delivery info.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Dirty Turkish back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
You know, I'm not going to wait for apologies. I'm not going to look for you were rights. And I'm not going to say I told you so any more than I already have. Although if you feel the urge, at ESPN Draft Nerd on Twitter, I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you that the selfish player that has literally imploded every program he's ever been in since he was at Duke was going to do this again. And I have been inundated with, you don't know this game. You don't understand the legend that is Kyrie Irving. He's the greatest on-ball, blah, blah, blah. He's also the greatest head case I've ever covered in my life in any sport, and it's not even vaguely close. And now that elite offensive player who at 29 years old can be basically had for the price of a bag of basketballs has gotten about as much interest as Baker Mayfield. Congratulations. Like I said, I won't sit around and wait by the phone for the you were right, but I will take some self-satisfaction in knowing that I was.
Our 12 Bones Smokehouse and Brewery question of the day. What is the worst current contract in all of sports? Do we have a winner?
I feel like Stephen Tell has to be the winner because we mentioned his name 6 times.
Okay.
I'm giving it to Stephen Tell. He didn't win last week. He was in it, but you know what? I'm going to give it. We're going to put him in the drawing again this week.
All right. And his answer was Baker Mayfield?
He had several answers and great, thoughtful comments.
I've seen Bobby Bonilla mentioned a lot.
Here's the thing. And I'm glad you mentioned that.
Okay.
I want to mention this about Bobby Bonilla. How is it the worst contract in the world when it was only $1 million something a year?
Yeah, but it was for 25 years.
I don't care. Stephen Cohen has that in his couch cushions. I get the premise of that it was very egregiously long.
Right.
John Wall is going to make $47 million this year. He may play as many minutes in this league as I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he did last year. I get the answer, and I understand where you're coming from.
Yep.
I just can't really agree with you.
I don't think it's close. I think it's John Wall. I mean, for $47 million, a guy who, I mean, he's on the scrap heap of the NBA now as far as players and talent and availability and all of that.
And the sad thing, I'd rather have John Wall than Kyrie Irving. If it wasn't for the years, I don't think it's all that close.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We will be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Right here on ESPN Asheville and, of course, on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are watching some slow-moving downpours out there, and we're lucky enough to have them here this week. Front, which is not that common for summertime, in the neighborhood for the next several days. That's going to keep some thunderstorms fueled up. Our low tonight, 59 degrees, mostly cloudy with a stray storm Tuesday, a high of 78, and then widely scattered storms for Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.
Ray Magliozzi here. The tear in my driver's seat does have sentimental value since my butt's molded to fit it. But I'm ready for a new one from eBay Motors with all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. Till then, I'll just scooch. eBay Motors, let's ride.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving time ago, 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 eastbound between Bavard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In Buncombe County near Jupiter, future 26 westbound at Stockton Road, an incident causing congestion. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road, very busy. Again, Bavard Road north and southbound, very busy between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road, heavy delays. In the Horseshoe area, delays between Cummings Road and Banner Farm Road, each direction. I'm Lyndon Phil with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Panera. They say to never mess with the classics, but Panera did that and more with their new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. Pan-seared chicken, a secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisps, and pickled chips all on a buttery brioche roll. Try one for only a $1 delivery fee when you order on their app. Restrictions apply.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.